course, the services provided by the system certainly allow the teacher to communicate continuously and effectively with the student in a seamless manner. As we mentioned, the knowledge resources involve creating a space for research references and links that the student can use, such as videos or YouTube sites, which support scientific research in various ways. Also, perception, messaging, communication tools, and documentation are all services provided by us. All right, so how does the teacher get started? The first thing the teacher does is create their virtual classrooms, just like you see in point 1 at the end. The teacher uploads their content or knowledge resources, and they can also upload what we call regulations and rules, which I will clarify for you shortly, God willing. I'll move on quickly with you. Just take a look if you would. I'll move on quickly with you. Look, you would be so kind. I will take this course for you. This is the guidance. These are the regulations. I can publish the regulations for graduate studies for the student. They should know what they are going to do. What will the advisor do? Dr. Mohammed, could you please share your screen? So just a moment, all right? Perfect, perfect. Stay with me, okay? I'm going to come back to you because I had a problem with the sharing. Let me see if everything is working correctly right now. Is the sharing clear now? Let me check again. When I log into the system, I will find, fourthly, I will clarify the request I have right now. Do you see? This is a student with their university ID, and this is another student with their university ID, and this student will remain the same for you. The student will remain with you along with their university ID. Right now, I'm not going to copy the graduate studies course for you. I currently have 3 courses. We will look at this course, refer back to it, and examine it. This is the guidance. After that, I will go back in to show you the course, the thesis itself. This is after applying the experiment. It is issued after the approval of the research or after the approval to start the thesis itself. This is another course. I have a course in English for those who also work in English. There is an English version available for them. Of course, I will explain to you the first thing before the application, the course before the guidance, which is before the application, comparing it to before the guidance. I share with the student the regulations for graduate studies at the university, the regulations specific to the department, so they are aware of them. And we take all the regulations from graduate studies deanship. Of course, this is a very important part. And of course, the calendar for the student specific tasks will be available. This, of course, means that these are not all the tools we use with the student, because every professor clicks, for example, and I clicked here, and you all, for example, and I clicked here and clicked on the partial evening, and it covers here. Do you see? Do you see these questions? You can see what your percentages are from all these things: achievements, doctoral evaluations, blogs, diaries, contacts, grades, assigned messages, group discussions. These things are very important. You put it, of course, I will clarify for you again. You might have a page like this where you have surveys and assignments, tools, blogs, diaries, you have content, you have YouTube, you have images. All of these can be utilized according to each specialization. But I will start with you now on the standard that we have. We have the academic regulations, which are the guidelines. Of course, this is very important to have, especially in the first stage of working with the student. These are the regular meetings that I come here to set up, but I can make them monthly or annually, depending on what they want to do in terms of learning. I schedule sessions and set the timetable in this area, and I start creating each session with its agenda and date between me and the student who registers with me. This is the discussion between the student. You will start here a general discussion, or find that you will have a series of discussions. And the engineer, God willing, will clarify for us how to start discussing with the student and how the discussions will be organized. Can the student attach files, for example, within the discussion, or how do they participate? And all of this will be documented, God willing, with the professor and the student. Of course, this is the email. The email includes the inbox messages, then the sent and outgoing messages. Here, he will also clarify for us what we can start with in terms of the series of messages related to the course, especially regarding the method. We can set up tests. We can start by setting up a discussion to work on the seminar performance itself that will be conducted. We can set up a content tool specifically for the research itself, and the engineer can create a content tool specifically for the research or the thesis, along with the files exchanged between the student and the professor. I think the best place for this part is to make it an assignment, meaning to take it as content and make it the exchange files, for example, but files. Files, I don't want to modify the files behind me. For example, I'll begin with the files exchanged between me and the student. I'll upload them here to start working with them so that the student can upload files as assignments. The student uploads thesis files, I evaluate and respond. This is also a part we'll learn to handle. You can do it yourself, or we assist in your course, whether guidance or thesis related in Arabic or English. I treat it as files related to uploads between students and professors. Students upload thesis files, I evaluate and respond. You can handle thesis related tasks yourself, or we can assist in your course, whether in Arabic or English. Everything you can imagine related to the thesis, you can do it yourself, or we can assist you and work within your course, whether it's guidance or the course related to the thesis in Arabic or in English. Now, we'll get into this comparison. I won't take too much of your time because there's an engineer here with you. We will go into this comparison. I won't take too much of your time because there's an engineer here with you. And God willing, I will also be here to answer any questions you have about these things. As an academic, I was the one who started the project from the very beginning, and I was the one who worked on the project and presented it to the university 4 years ago. Here is the thesis discussion. The thesis discussion is the virtual chapter where the discussion takes place between the student and the discussion committee itself. Of course, the thesis supervisor should ideally have their information and the hours they can be available through the system shared with the student so that they can be present. Of course, the same thing applies. Regular meetings and discussions. All of this is available and possible. As I mentioned, this tool allows you to add the moments you want according to your vision, as you wish. Copy, we are ready. How do the copying tools work? The copying tools are designed to follow the college that offers graduate studies for e-learning. It includes the student's name, their university ID, and the professor's employee number. On this basis, we create a course for each student. This course appears to the student as part of their study plan, showing the student's name and university ID. After that, we copy the course you want, whether it's in English or Arabic, the thesis course or the guidance course. Of course, all the details that you might be wondering about, I will, God willing, address them. All your questions, I'm here with you, and I'll just let Engineer Saeed start explaining what I've described and what he might have seen in the project file, how we produce it within the course, and whether the professor can add to it or not, and what our role is as an e-learning process in this project. Thank you, and I hope I haven't taken too much of your time. Please go ahead, Engineer. I'm here for all your questions, and I'll just let Engineer Saeed start explaining what I've described and what he might have seen in the project file, how we produce it within the course, and whether the professor can add to it and what our role is as an e-learning process in this project. Thank you. And I hope I haven't taken too much of your time. Please go ahead, engineer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed. I really appreciate it, and I welcome my colleagues once again. As Dr. Mohammed explained to us, the system is comprehensive in every aspect. As we say, you don't step outside the system. One of the most important features of the system, or its special importance, is the documentation processes. And the communication processes with graduate students, we'll look at the practical side together now, God willing. Let me share my screen with you. Peace be upon you. And blessings, I hope the screen, it should be abundantly clear to you now. I hope you can just let me know if it's indeed clear. All right, as you can see, we have the course like the thesis course, or perhaps even a more comprehensive supervisory course. We have a particular template in place here as well, which is visible to all of us with an organized and certain layout. There are a set of tools that we benefit from in this template. You can modify it or add to this template as you see fit. As you can see, I'm highlighting it in red. This is the list we have, and we can edit it without any issues. So how do we edit it? First, you all need to see that, as Dr. Mohammed explained, we have graduate studies. This is one of the links, and this link shows something called the page or the modules. Of course, we'll clarify this for you shortly. We also have the regulations and the calendar.